Hello, warriors. Today we are going to be working on how to graph a line when given a point and given the slope. We have been working on how to find the slope given a line, and now we're going to be working that backwards. First, you need to graph the point that you are given. So our point is 0.09. I know that the 0 is my x coordinate. I know the 9 is my y coordinate. Since my x coordinate tells me to go sideways and it's 0, I know that I won't go anywhere. So I start at the origin, but then I don't go to the left or to the right. I just stay in the origin. Then my y point of 9 tells me to go up or down. Since it is a positive 9, I know I need to go up 9. So I went 0 sideways, and then I will go up 9, and I'll put my point there. So the first step is to graph your point. The second step is to think about what slope means to figure out where the line goes. So our slope is -2/5. And I'm going to rewrite that as a -2 in my numerator over 5 in my denominator. If we have a negative fraction, we can move the negative sign either into the numerator or into the denominator, whichever one makes it easier to work with. With slope, it is easier to put that negative into the numerator. Now I'm going to use what I know about slope being rise over run to find the direction that this line goes. Since our rise is -2, a negative rise tells me that I'm going down. So what this slope means is I'm going down 2, and a run of 5 means over 5. So my line goes down 2 every time it goes over 5. Now that I know the directions for the slope and I have my point, I'm ready to graph. So I start at the point I just plotted, my 0, 9. I go down 2 spaces, and then I go over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I put another point there. And then I do that again. It's always good to have 3 points when you're graphing. So I go down 1, 2, and I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I put another point there. Now I'm ready to connect my points to make my line. I'm going to use the shape tool to draw a straight line. So I click the shape tool, I click insert line, and then I draw a line between my 3 points. And I know that lines technically go on forever, so I'm going to draw my arrows at the end. Notice that we worked that backwards, but we did the exact same steps as finding slope. We have our perfect points here where the line crosses over the grid marks right at the corners. And we have our triangles. because our line went down 2 for -2 and then over 5. So when graphing a line, given the point and the slope, first plot your point, then decide how far up or down and how far over your slope is telling you to go, and then draw your new dots using that information. Here is our second example. Given the point -3, 3, and a slope of 2, we need to graph this line. So my point -3, 3, because my x-coordinate is a negative, that tells me to go to the left. Since my y-coordinate is a positive, that tells me I will go up. So to graph my point, I start at the origin 0, 0. I go to the left 3, and then I go up 3. So that is the point -3, 3. Notice that it will be a perfect point because it is at the corners on the grid marks. But now I have a problem with my slope because it doesn't have a rise over a run. It only has one number. But we know how to take care of that. I know that my rise is 2, and I know that I have a whole number that I need to turn into a fraction. In order to turn a whole number into a fraction, you always put a 1 underneath it. So a slope of 2 is the same thing as a slope of 2 over 1. I know that a rise of 2 tells me the direction. A rise of 2 tells me that my line is going up 2. A run of 4 tells me that, a run of 1 tells me that it is going over 1. So 2 over 1 means up 2 and over 1. Now I go back to my point, -3, 3, and I go up 2, and I go over 1, and I put a point. And then I continue that. It's going to go up 2, it's going to go over 1, and I put a point. It'll go up 2, over 1, and I put a point. This also works backwards. It could also go down 2 and back 1, because that's the same thing as up 2 and over 1. So it could go down 2 and back 1, and it will still be the same line because it's still those same triangles. It's still the stair steps that make the slope. But I'm going to take my stair steps off because we just wanted to graph the line this time. So I click my Shapes tool, I click Insert Line, and I draw my line so that it goes between the points. Then I draw my arrows at the end. So to summarize, when you are given a point and a slope and you are asked to graph the line, first you graph the point that you are given, then you use the slope to find the direction, to find the rise over the run. Then you use that information, you use the rise over the run, the up 2 over 1 part, to draw your points. And then you connect them with a line. Next, you are going to be practicing this on a Kami document and on Khan Academy.